The year is 2025. A specter haunts America, the specter of discrimination. It casts a long shadow over minority communities. It's not overt segregation but subtler, more insidious. Policies cloaked in fairness undermine diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility (DEI). They dismantle programs, silencing marginalized voices. The impact reverberates through education, employment, healthcare, and more. This essay exposes the hidden consequences on Black, transgender, and immigrant communities. Through examples and legal challenges, it unveils the human cost, urging vigilance and resistance. The fight for equality is far from over. The time to act is now, to ensure the promise of America is not lost in the shadows. The rescission of Executive Order 11,246, a landmark achievement of the civil rights era, stands as a stark symbol of the administration's attack on workplace equality. This order, signed in 1965, mandated affirmative action for federal contractors, requiring them to actively recruit and hire qualified women and minority applicants. By eliminating this crucial safeguard, the Trump administration has effectively sanctioned discrimination in hiring practices. This decision disproportionately harms minority communities who rely on these protections to access high-paying industries historically rife with discriminatory barriers. The message is clear: equal opportunity is no longer a priority. The administration's efforts to undermine DEIA extend beyond federal contractors, creating a chilling effect on all employers. By equating these initiatives with reverse discrimination, they perpetuate a false narrative that undermines the very concept of equity. The dismantling of DEIA in the workplace is not just a policy decision, it is a direct attack on the economic security and well-being of minority communities. Education, often hailed as the great equalizer, is now under attack. The administration's assault on DEIA initiatives in schools and universities threatens to dismantle decades of progress in creating inclusive and equitable learning environments. From kindergarten to college, these policies aim to silence discussions of race, gender, and systemic inequality, effectively erasing the experiences of marginalized communities from the curriculum. They target programs designed to support underrepresented students, creating a hostile environment that discourages diversity of thought and experience. The Department of Education's Dear Colleague letter, threatening to withhold funding from schools that implement DEI programs, exemplifies this assault. By labeling these programs as unlawful, the administration seeks to intimidate educators and stifle efforts to create inclusive learning spaces. By stifling diversity in education, the administration is not only failing to prepare students for a diverse world, but actively undermining the very fabric of American democracy. The administration's attack on health research, particularly in areas crucial to understanding and addressing health disparities, represents a callous disregard for the well-being of minority communities. The cancellation of NIH grants related to gender identity, DEI, vaccine hesitancy, and research involving labs in South Africa and China is a blatant example of this dangerous trend. These cancellations are not merely budgetary decisions, they are politically motivated attempts to silence research that challenges the administration's narrow worldview. By defunding research on topics deemed controversial, they stifle scientific inquiry and hinder efforts to address critical health issues that disproportionately impact marginalized communities. The impact of these cancellations is immediate and far-reaching, delaying the development of life-saving treatments and exacerbating existing health disparities. This assault on health research is not just an attack on science, it is an attack on the health and well-being of minority communities. Representation matters. When minority communities see themselves reflected in positions of power, it fosters trust, inspires hope, and ensures that their voices are heard. The Trump administration's dismantling of federal DEI programs and efforts to reduce diversity in government represent a direct assault on this fundamental principle. By rolling back initiatives designed to recruit, hire, and promote individuals from underrepresented backgrounds, the administration is effectively erasing the presence of minority voices from the halls of power. This lack of representation has profound consequences for policy decisions, resource allocation, and the overall ability of government to serve the needs of all Americans. This erasure of representation has a chilling effect on civic engagement, discourages qualified individuals from pursuing careers in public service, and perpetuates a cycle of exclusion that undermines the very fabric of American democracy. The Trump administration's environmental rollbacks, including the withdrawal from the Paris Agreement and the weakening of regulations on air and water pollution, have a disproportionate impact on minority communities. These communities are often located in areas with higher concentrations of polluting industries, making them more vulnerable to the health consequences of environmental degradation. By prioritizing corporate profits over environmental protection, the administration has exacerbated existing environmental injustices, exposing minority communities to higher rates of respiratory illnesses, cancer, and other health problems linked to pollution. This disregard for the health and well-being of these communities is unconscionable and represents a blatant disregard for their fundamental right to a clean and healthy environment. The fight for environmental justice is inextricably linked to the fight for racial and social justice. By dismantling environmental protections, the administration is not only endangering the planet, but also perpetuating a system where marginalized communities bear the brunt of environmental degradation. The unseen impact of the Trump administration's policies on minority communities is undeniable. From the workplace to the classroom, healthcare to the environment, these decisions have eroded decades of progress towards equality and justice. But despair is not an option. Now is the time to resist, to organize, and to fight back. The lawsuits filed by the ACLU and other organizations offer hope. These legal battles are crucial to holding the administration accountable. The fight for equality extends beyond the courtroom. It demands a collective awakening and solidarity across all lines. The road ahead will be long, but the fight for a just society is worth it.